So, whenever people think of bears, they think really furious and aggressive. Well, pandas are the exact opposite, and they're much like you and me. So, how does eating for 12 hours out of the day sound? Or what about lounging around in a luscious rainforest? Just a few qualities that you and pandas might have in common. So how can someone identify pandas from other bears, and what is so special about them, and why do we continue to rescue them? Well, let's start with the basics of identifying physical and social traits of pandas. They can grow up to 5 feet tall and weigh about 300 pounds as an adult. They have distinctive white and black coat that they use to provide for camouflage. The panda's main focus is bamboo, and they eat about 12 hours out of the day, which is the whole time that they're awake, and that's almost 28 pounds a day. They also eat small rodents and fish sometimes. That makes them omnivores, but it's usually just bamboo. Pandas actually don't like being around other pandas. They have a great smelling ability, and they're able to detect when another panda's around them. So they leave waxy markers around their territory, and that lets other pandas know their age, their sex, reproduction status, and to back off. Their habitats is mostly made out of hollow trees or small caves that they find in the mountains of central China, and this provides a cool and damp place, making it perfect for bamboo to grow. So now you're probably thinking, all right, pandas seem great, but it's not really a big deal, and I have other things to do right now. Well, right now they're in danger. There's only about 2,000 pandas in the wild, making them vulnerable to extinction. That's based off animalfacts.com. And this is due to habitat destruction and the Chinese population continuing to grow. They tend to have a low birth rate in the wild, and captivity leading to their endangerment. Also, there is poaching going on, not as much as there used to be, but there still is. They've been poached in China for thousands of years as China toured states. Not only have foreigners poached these creatures, but many of the locals have too, just because their fur is really soft and it's easy to sell. People want to buy it. In 1949, the population of China grew so rapidly that pandas were new targets of hunting to sustain life. So people would basically kill them and eat them. So pandas really don't reproduce that much at all. It's very slow. They reproduce very infrequently. Females are only fertile for about 2 to 3 days out of the year, and females are pregnant for 100 to 180 days. They give birth to 1 to 2 cubs in a litter, which, only one grows up. The other one, if she has 2, she can only have enough energy to focus on one at a time. So the other one dies soon after, and the cubs are only about 90 to 136 grams. So they're very small. They're like about that big. Females usually give birth in 2-year intervals. So they give birth 1 year, and then 2 years later they'll give birth again. The bamboo is another reason they're endangered. They feed on many different species of bamboo, but the bamboo blooms during different times of the year. So this could lead to starvation. If one species is destroyed, that means that pandas have nothing to feed on during that time of the year, so a lot of them could starve. So pandas are important because they eat plants, in which they distribute seeds all over the forest for other things to grow and other animals to eat them. Pandas are a huge tourist attraction and cultural icon to the Chinese due to their cuteness and adorable attitudes. Saving pandas also helps the environment that they live in, which in turn benefits other populations of endangered species in central China because there are like five or seven more species that are endangered there. Millions of people depend on the 2 rivers that run through the mountains in which pandas live for food, agriculture, and transportation. So if that all gets destroyed, then people don't have any way to get their food or any way to travel. So far, people are helping by donating. These donations go to panda reserves, research, or the community around there. Sponsoring a panda is a great family activity. You get a picture of the panda that you sponsor and other gifts for your contributions. And then people are using less and less paper, which is good because bamboo gets cut down and turned into paper, and that's the only thing that pandas can live off of. Reducing pollution is a good way too, because not only have pandas been their environment is getting destroyed by pollution, but other places around the world, like we all have seen it. So instead of taking your own vehicle, carpool or walk, and picking airlines with higher capacities is a good way to reduce it too. Another way that people are helping is conservation. So in the 1990s, there were many laws passed in China that were beneficial to panda survival, including stricter gun laws and not allowing humans to live on reservoirs anymore. In 1986, there were just 13 reservoirs. By 2006, there were 40, and it just continues to grow as pandas become more popular. They are one of the few animals to be recognized by the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which basically means that they are protected by them and that the reservoirs are getting funded by this company, and a lot of times they don't do that. And pandas are just the beginning of this. In reality, there are many animals that need our help before they become something of the past, something that we read about in history books. So pandas are amazing creatures. They've taken the world by fascination. They're just really, really goofy. I mean, there's videos on Facebook all the time of pandas. You can look it up anywhere. And people just really are fascinated by them. And although they're considered part of the bear family, their diet is mostly considered a plant, which is bamboo, and they are vulnerable to extinction or endangerment. And in order to combat this issue, there are new conservations that are not only making an impact on the panda population, but other species as well. So there are things that you can do in your everyday life, not only to help pandas, but to help other animals by making the environment around you a safer place. So by donating, recycling, and research, we can make sure that the planet that we're sharing is a safer place for other endangered species. That's it.